now tuned into the DFPN, the Dat Villain Podcast Network. Yo, what is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks Podcast here on the DFPN. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know we're a little late. We had some technical issues. Hopefully we can get through the show tonight, but notwithstanding, we got a good show for you guys tonight. Before we get into that, let's jump into the sponsors. Shout out to Plugs Earbuds. Go to www.gettheplugs.com. Enter in code DFPN10 for a 10% discount. And also shout out to Fiverr. Join the Patreon. If you're following us on Patreon, we're dropping new content. We have some good stuff going on. We're in the midst of giveaway season. So join the Patreon for as little as $3. Get yourself some nice merch out of that as well for free. And, just rock with us. We keep dropping new content. Same thing goes for the Bandcamp. For as little as $3, you get access to the entire Dat Villain audio library. The entire library. We dropped some new songs here. I have a new song on there. E. Smitty has new songs on there. Normalized Growth has new songs on there. And we just keep rocking, man. So same thing, $3 a month gets you access to the entire library. Go join today, datfillin.bandcamp.com. And also, since I'm now back active, that includes the merch. I've been working on some designs to get out to the merch. So go to teespring.com, search for Dat Villain Podcast, get yourself some merch. Support the brand, man. Support the brand. Support. It all goes down to that. So, we just gave you multiple spots that you can go check this out. Go check us out. We're out there. We're active. We're putting in the work. Make sure y'all do y'all part. Support. Now, to my co-host, D-Truth, as he likes to be called today. D-Truth. It's like D's nuts, but D-Truth. You know what I mean? Like, I fucks with it, though. I fuck with it.
Well, I'm on this podcast that tells the truth.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's D-Truth. It just naturally flows that way. But Mr. Black Mac, Mr. Macaroni, sir, how are you?
I'm doing magnificent. Get it? Magnificent.
I get you. That's great. Great to hear, sir. Great to hear.
Oh man,
it's another day in paradise, right?
Yep, that's all it is, man. Another day in the land of the living. So nothing to do but celebrate. But it was a loud, quiet week. It wasn't that much news come out, but a lot of stuff behind the scenes in the business. We had a brand new DX biography dropped. Cornette wasn't too high on it, but he offered some very truthful thoughts. So I want to come kind of talk about DX. Off the heels of the biography, how big was DX back in the day? I don't
know, bro. I mean, what T-shirt am I wearing right now? What T-shirt am I wearing right now? So
NWO.
That answers the question right there. Exactly. So that answers the question right there. You have never seen me, and you will never see me ever come on this podcast or any platform or go to any show wearing a DX T-shirt. It never will happen. Because number one, I don't own any. Number two, the only person I've ever bought a DX t-shirt for was my sister because she likes H. And that's it. It's always been NWO for life. That's it, period. They were not on the league or on the same level of the NWO. They weren't. And it doesn't matter. The WWE won the war, and they can rewrite the history as many times they want to. The ratings and numbers don't lie on what group was more popular, what group you see to this day. When you go to see shows in the arena, you go see people in the arenas, and what t-shirt are they rocking? You see two colors, black and white, red and black, period. You don't see no X. You don't see it.
That does speak volumes. Now, they were around in a wild time. They were around in the Attitude Era. Some of the biggest groups in the Attitude Era. I would argue they were one of the biggest groups in the Attitude Era. They had the Nation of Domination. Like, you had so many factions around that time that were big. Not just DX. But I think what set them apart was that whole WCW thing when they went and loaded up the tanks and they went to WCW. That kind of set them apart from that because it was like, all right, we're going to go declare war on the competition type of thing. And I think fans low-key wanted to see that happen. But WCW didn't open the doors and blah, blah, blah. And, things never really kicked off the way the fans really wanted it. But in the grand scheme of things, shoulder shrug.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, was it really that revolutionary? I mean, was DX actually doing something that was innovative and new that had never been done before? No. It's been done before. It just was never at this level because of the Monday Night War. That's what got it going. That's where people are like, oh, shit. These guys actually went down to Norfolk, Virginia, to the Scope, and went down there to WCW TV. And WCW didn't open the door because the arena management and Doug Dillinger, who was head of security, wouldn't let them open the door. Bischoff has stated, and this is where Cornette's wrong. Eric said it would have been cool to open the door because you would have had the DX on Nitro. So he thought it would have been excellent TV if that would have happened. If the WCW would have showed up to the WWF Raw show, Vince McMahon probably would have opened the door. Because you know why? They both were smart. It's good, compelling TV. You would have DX there. And it would have been no fight because all these guys were friends. It would have just been, what else would happen? You would have DX in there, and you would have Nash on him, and all you would have probably saw was them doing Too Sweet and all that shit. You would have had DX and NWO and the WCW out there at the same time. That's what would have happened.
I agree.
That would have been great TV. But people didn't see it. People didn't see it that way. People didn't see it.
I agree.
They're just like, oh, we can't let them DS guys out there. We can't let them in. Don't open that door.
They're killing
out there. I see that. I see that Mr. Booty out there. Don't open that door. What's that guy's name? Road Diggity Dog. Don't open the door.
I mean, and yeah, history gets rewritten a lot. So, in the grand scheme of things, DX, to me, wasn't even the top faction. To me, it was Nation of Domination. And then DX. And then maybe the Ministry. And I would argue the Ministry was probably better than DX.
I gotta disagree. With you. Wholeheartedly disagree with you. The top faction in WWF at the time frame we're talking about previously in 97, because DX had their big run in 98.
You're
97,
right.
The top faction there was the Hart Foundation.
No, yeah. I agree.
The Hart Foundation were the top.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
They were the top faction in the WWF. Once Brett and all them left to WCW, then the focus was put more on DX.
Yeah.
But even still, Shawn Michaels was not a draw. If you look back at the numbers, and I saw the video with Cornette breaking this shit down, Michaels was not a draw at all. DX didn't start getting anywhere. They didn't get anywhere until Six Pac showed up after WrestleMania 14.
Yep.
That right there, to me, is the equivalent of Cody roads coming from AEW to the WWE today.
I agree.
Not on the same level, but it's the first time in the war with WCW that somebody from their side came and jumped to the WWF side.
I agree.
Not the other way around.
I agree.
And that's kind of what we're seeing right now in this current climate of sports entertainment, professional wrestling, is you're starting to see a lot more interest now from the AEW side to the WWE side, and not vice versa.
Right.
That's kind of what you're saying right now in some places, and then we'll get on later on the news about what's really going down. But ultimately, DX, they ran their course pretty much, I think, and Triple H was smart to get out when he did. When he did his heel turn at WrestleMania 15, and he turned and joined the corporation. The corporation became the top faction in WWF, followed by the corporate ministry after that.
You can argue that killed DX. Actually,
turn?
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It was meant to do that.
It did what it was meant to do.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to do. Because the thing about it was that, to me, Triple H didn't really have any concrete feuds with any of the DX members after DX had split up. I mean, he had a couple matches with X-Pac, but the whole point was to elevate him to the next level. That was the point of him turning on DX to begin with. But remember, he did the heel turn and turned on them, but by the fall of '99, they would be back together again.
Right. So, yeah, they had an impact, no doubt. DX made an impact, but I don't think
they had an impact. They had an impact, but remember something real quick. The impact was this: Hall and Nash were already doing cross chops on Nitro.
Yes.
Way before DX ever became a thing. Okay?
Correct.
Here Kevin Nash tells stories about, in his podcast about him and Shawn Michaels doing cross chops to Captain Lou at Battle when they were wrestling the Headstringers, and Captain Lou wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Because they were telling, they was like, telling Lou to suck it. It's like, oh yeah, I want a job or some shit, or I want some crazy shit they were talking about. But they had already been doing it. Hall and Nash had been on the first day they stepped into WCW, they were doing cross chops. So DX has its place in history. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
So DX has its place. DX has its place in history. I'm not going to sit up there and say they didn't have their place. They did.
It's the click.
It's the click. They're just doing shit that they did backstage. They had an impact, but at the same time, DX was there. There was another faction in WCW that I think were more popular than them. That was just starting off, and that was the Wolfpack.
Oh yeah.
The NWO Red and Black. The
Yeah.
Wolfpack. So they want to tell the truth. But like I say, if I win the war, I can rewrite history. And that's what
you can rewrite it.
I can do anything I want to. But I'm not going to sit there and just minimize the impact of DX, even though bottom line of it is that they didn't make history like the three letters behind.
Right, exactly. I agree with you there. I agree with you. So moving on, and we mentioned something earlier about the WWE. So I want to move into that. Is everything sunshine and rainbows at WWE?
I don't think it is. That's what I heard. It's not. You got a lot of people over there that are worried about their spot and not liking the fact that Triple H is basically turning the main roster into NXT Black and Gold 2.0 is what's going down. And I said this in the last episode of this podcast that he's booking for the niche. He's booking for the NXT audience. You mean to tell me that all these people, let me remind people of something. Okay. Down in NXT, when this quote unquote Wednesday War started off with AEW, right? Triple H had all the talent. He had Adam Cole. You had Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. You had everybody down there. You had Karrion Kross. All these different casts. Everybody was down there at NXT, right?
Yes.
Why did they never beat AEW on the ratings? You had all the same players. This is when Triple H was in charge. They never beat them. So what makes you think now that they're on the main roster that I'm supposed to now take them seriously because supposedly Triple H is just this creative genius, when in reality he's really not. Because all you're simply doing is you're bringing back the same.
You're bringing back the guys that Vince saw you lost the war. He got rid of those guys. He was like,
"Look, nothing in those guys. He didn't see shit in those guys.
I don't have
That's
nothing
what it was.
for you." Yep.
They're talking about bringing back. They're talking about bringing back, Jonah or whatever. And
I saw that.
And I'm like, Vince brought the guy up there to the roster, and it didn't impress him. He didn't do nothing. But this is the guy they're talking about bringing back here. So I'm just like this. I'm sorry, but hey, listen, wrestling fans out there, we're happy as hell to see Johnny Gargano come back on Monday. Hey, that's more power to you. I don't watch the shit, so I didn't care. I read about it, and I was like, I yawned because I'm like, okay, yeah, bring it back, whatever.
The only return that I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, was fucking what's the group? Huh?
Hit Row.
Hit Row. That was the only one. I was like, okay, this is cool because they didn't deserve the shit they got. They didn't.
No.
Neither did Karrion Kross, but Hit Row didn't deserve that shit at all. They were on the main roster for all of a week and then were all let go. And it's still, even then, it's cool that they brought him back, but even then, it's not the same Hit Row if you don't have Swerve in it.
I don't even think Swerve is thinking about it.
I don't either.
He's not. He's already put out there. He's not thinking about it. He's not thinking about WWE. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because I think his saying was that he saw pretty much what it was, and I mean the guy over there, that guy is a tag team champion right now in AEW. He wasn't going to get that kind of push. They wanted to pick. Their main focus was Top Dollar and Hit Row.
Yeah.
Not him.
Yeah.
Not him. Not Ashanti the Adonis. Not B-Fab. It's and I don't know. I'm not digging it, and a lot of people, from what I understand, backstage are not digging the current direction because people worry about their spot. People worry about the NXT effect on the main roster show, and you at this point, we were talking about this before we started the show. They're completely burying Austin Theory.
Oh yeah. This is totally a retaliation.
Before he went, before SummerSlam, this guy was a threat. He was coming out there jogging around the ring.
He actually looked strong. Yeah, he actually looked strong.
And I have not seen. I'm seeing what I'm seeing right now. Okay, is Austin Theory was a part of the Way faction in NXT, but what I'm seeing right now is that okay. Vince wanted to dismantle everything that I built up and all the guys that I built up. So now I'm going to do something to his pet project, which was Austin Theory. I don't think they see that. And the way he's looking right now with that briefcase,
the briefcase is worthless.
The briefcase worthless. He's looking like Damian Sandow with that briefcase out there.
Yep. The briefcase is worthless. It means nothing. It means nothing.
And I hope that's not the case. I hope they don't blow it. And I hope that, he does eventually cash in. Maybe he'll cash in at the stadium show they're about to do. Clash of the Castle. Maybe he'll cash in there or something. Or maybe he won't have a successful cash in at all.
Maybe he won't. But it's clear that with the regime change, Austin Theory is getting pushed to the bottom of the deck.
That's what it looks like to me.
But I think you could use him because he is a young guy. You could use him to be a focal point. I think you could. And I don't know. I know it's retaliation because look at all the guys Triple H lost.
Triple H, and I posted this earlier in the No Gimmicks group on Facebook. Triple H basically said that they can't save everybody.
Yeah, this is true.
And he said, he named Shinsuke Nakamura. He said Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns should be a WrestleMania main event. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen because the booking the last 5 years has been the booking has done damage, and the fans won't take Nakamura seriously. You know what my opinion of it is that Nakamura, honestly, Nakamura would be having two options. And I would tell Nakamura this if I was working for WWE and I was, one of Triple H's guys. I'd tell him straight up, you need to leave here. You need to go to
back to Japan
or go to AEW or something and go get hot. So
and then
you get hot and then come back is what I would tell him. You're here and you're just wasting away.
Yep.
You're wasting away here.
Yep.
And that's just
I wouldn't tell him to go to AEW. I'd tell him to go back to Japan. Go back home.
Well, if he likes the United States, if he likes living here, I would say go to AEW.
Yeah,
because Tony Khan's going to pay the money, and then at the same time, he don't have to have that rigorous schedule. I mean, dude's in his 40s, so he's not gonna. He don't have to have that rigorous, strong style schedule that New Japan has. He can stay here, get paid a good amount of money and work less.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would say go to AEW.
That's true.
And the same thing with AEW. People we're talking about the problems with AEW. Here's the thing. And I said this a while ago, and I don't understand why people don't understand the logic in this. When you have this many people on a roster, okay, yeah, true. You can't put everybody on TV. I understand that. But you're wasting time. Your secondary show, Rampage, should be doing blockbuster numbers. And the reason why is because, WWF used to have this little show back in the day. I don't know if anybody ever heard of it. It's called Saturday Night's Main Event, where they would have this show come on like 11 o'clock on ABC on a fucking Saturday. And that was like, people thought it was a death spot and shit. But guess what they did?
The shit did numbers.
You know why? Because you had Hulk Hogan on the show. You had Macho Man on the show. You had the Hart Foundation on the show. You had Hogan versus Andre. What was it, on a Friday night? It was called the Main Event. Okay? The biggest TV rating ever in professional wrestling has never been broken till this day. You have that going. So how do you make Rampage mean something, right? You take the top stars from Dynamite and you put them on the fucking show. And stop putting them in the ring against people that nobody gives a damn about. Give me a reason to watch the show. Because right now, Rampage, I used to come in and say, Rampage is like Thunder. No, Rampage is not like WCW Thunder. Because at least WCW Thunder, you would see Hogan on Thunder. You see Macho Man on Thunder. You see Sting on Thunder, Luger, Nash, Hall. The list goes on and on. You're putting Jabroni A versus Jabroni B on Rampage, and that's why your ass is getting 400,000 views. Period.
I agree with that. And they've only done it a handful of times. Like these big shows they do, like when they go back to Arthur Ashe, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a live Rampage. And I'm pretty sure they're going to put shit behind it. But you need to do this consistently, very consistently. And speaking of AEW, let's transition into this shit because now I'm worked up. Dynamite. What was that? What was that? Now, don't get me wrong. The first hour of Dynamite, phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It was great. They had storylines. They had great wrestling. They had stuff queued in. What I didn't see was them building up to the main event, which I thought was going to be Jon Moxley versus CM Punk, because we've been hyping this. Good night. We've been hyping this the entire time. So last week you surprised us with, okay, they're going to go on this week. Okay. A little bit of what the fuck there, but not too much to be alarmed. Then this week, all right, it's here. We're gonna get the main event of All Out tonight. That was the main event of All Out. Not only did it not go on last, you opened up hour 2 with Rampage. I'm sorry, with Jon Moxley versus CM Punk. That's what you opened up hour 2 with. Immediately, I scratched my head. Why is this match? I said this out loud. Why is this match going on right now? For what reason is this match going on? hour 2 starting off, and it's not the main event. Now, I'm no wrestling psychologist. I'm not. I don't pretend to be. I don't. But I do know this. That match is money. That match is all the way money. So much so that I would have bought the pay-per-view to watch that match because it's that big of a match. So you mean to tell me you cut this match, the main event of All Out, you bring it to Dynamite. I get it for free. I'm not tripping. But it's not even the main event of Dynamite. Why? And then you give us a 3-minute and 1 second match with CM Punk and Jon Moxley, and it's a squash. It's a squash match. Jon Moxley is now the AEW World Champion. Congratulations to him. Undisputed.
It's just setting it up for CM Punk to get the belt back at All Out.
Why would you do that?
Because I think at All Out, CM Punk is going to finally turn heel.
You think he's going to turn heel?
I think that's what's going to be able to. It's either that. I'm going to tell you right there. It's either that's going to happen, or at All Out, we're going to see the return of MJF.
I'm hoping it's the latter, because if it's the former, then I'm going to be extremely disappointed. And
you're going to have CM Punk. You're going to have CM Punk versus Jon Moxley at All Out. That match is, as far as what I read today, that match is still penciled in as the main event for All Out.
That is enormously stupid. Unless I get a payoff.
Not for the story that they're trying to tell.
What story are they trying to tell?
Let me put it to you like this. So, who's to say? And this is just, I'm just hypothetically speaking of this. Who's to say that everybody didn't get worked with this Hangman CM Punk situation? Let's just say that we hadn't even talked about that. Who's saying? Let's just say that everybody. Let's just say that they were in cahoots about this, just to get everybody talking, sheets talking. Let's just say that the only way this actually would work is for CM Punk to be a heel and then have a blood feud with Hangman. Because when it comes down to it, CM Punk made himself look like the heel on what he did. And that's the talk of the town. People are talking about Punk is this and Punk is that. So Punk is getting the kind of reaction that a person of his stature would get if they're going to turn. He did what he did. So I'm thinking that Punk is going to turn heel. I think it's some kind of shit finish is going to be at All Out. And I would think that I would, would be a shocker, would be, and I'm just pointing this out, not saying it's going to happen, but I would think, the way to get this thing really over, I don't know the relationship they have right now. They probably don't have any relationship, but, I would have Colt Cabana be the one to help Punk get the belt in Chicago. People think, oh, these motherfuckers hate each other, this and that, and they go out there and we got all you bastards. Especially you, Hangman.
I like the idea.
That would be a shocker because Hangman comes out there and sees Cabana with Punk and all this bullshit that's been going on, but yet instead next to you just a world champion. Like, I'm up here defending you and you swerve me.
I like the idea. Here's
swerve.
Here's the problem with that idea. Because of what happened Wednesday, I don't fucking want to watch All Out. I don't want to watch it. Because I'm turned off by the idea that you would take this big match from All Out, and this is what I get on Dynamite. I'm not excited.
They're not doing anything differently that the organizations have done before. I'm gonna bring out 2 examples. Okay, you had it was August of 1997, WCW Nitro World Heavyweight Championship, Hollywood Hogan versus Lex Luger. Lex Luger beats Hollywood. The following at the pay-per-view Saturday, Road Wild, he gets the belt back. WCW Nitro. Once again, July 7th or July 8th, 1998, or July 6th, 1998. Hollywood Hogan versus Goldberg. Goldberg gets the win, wins the belt. This has been done before. They're telling a story here. You just gotta wait for the outcome of the story. But they're telling a story because they're telling a story of Punk foot and the way he looked back when Moxley was holding up the belts. They're telling a story. You just gotta wait for the story to pan out. It's called storytelling. That's all they're doing. I would have waited for them. I would have had it in the main event segment. Is what I would have done.
I would have done
I think
that.
they knew that they were going to do that, and that's why I think they knew they were going to do that. That's why they put it out early. I would have done it for the main event. I would have had the main event segment be that. But I think what Tony Khan didn't want to have happen was people say, "Well, shit, man, look at that shit main event they just put on there." I think that was the whole point. But the show would have been the show would have ended terribly if it had just been another promo that ends the show. Remember how many times we would watch Raw and Raw would end with a promo?
Yep.
Instead of a match.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying at this point is that I understand people are kind of upset about the situation, but they're telling a story here. You got to wait for the story to plan out. That's all it is. It's a story. It's nothing in the world. It's a story. And besides, I will kind of say here that the All Out card is actually looking kind of good.
It is looking good.
It's a story there. It's a story they're telling here, and I think the story they're telling is that Punk is going to turn heel. He's going to swerve everybody. I'm telling you. That's what's going to go down. You can't turn Moxley. I think Moxley is actually more. I think Moxley's more popular. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. All right, I'll reserve my anger. I'll give it a chance, but I was not happy.
All right. The piss off part of this. Think about this. Think about this piss off part. Think about if you ordered Starrcade '97 and you had Sting versus Hollywood, and you had to pay for that match, right? And the way it ended, and then the next night on Nitro, they do the fucking rematch, and then you can't see the end of the rematch until Thunder, the debut of Thunder. That's what would piss me off. That's what would make me fucking go crazy. Like, what the fuck are they doing? That right there. That would make me upset.
You talked me off the ledge because I was furious. I was like, what is this? What are they doing?
They're just telling a story. That's all it is.
All right. Okay.
Just like Kingston versus Gara. That situation. All right. Look, I want to see a blood feud now between these two. That's what I want to see. Yes. All right. You know,
I'll hang on.
Is Daniel Garcia? Is Daniel Garcia a sports entertainer or is he a wrestler? Daniel Garcia would actually benefit from being in a group like the Blackpool Combat Club. He's not. He don't have the. He does not have the charisma or the mic skills to be the Jericho Appreciation Society. He don't have it. He's missing it.
I would argue that he's gotten way better on the microphone. He's gotten leaps and bounds better on the microphone since he's been with Jericho. So there is a benefit there.
I don't think I honestly don't think I don't think anybody has been elevated being associated with Chris Jericho. I'm talking about the Jericho Appreciation Society or Inner Circle. I don't see what either. I don't other than a Sammy Guevara for a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Nobody was elevated in that group.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They just
you are right. You are right. Like, it's 5 guys get together. One of you's gonna make it. One of you's gonna make it. Yeah. It's not like a fashion like Evolution,
right? Where all the guys made it in Evolution. You know what I mean? It's not like that.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different. You have Ric Flair and Triple H in a group with two younger guys. Like, of course they're going to get better. Of course they will. You have no option.
Yeah. But you Jericho, who's done it all, got a name. Probably one of the biggest stars in AEW.
Yeah, I would agree
Got
with
a
that.
name.
Yeah. But he also has Jake Hager.
Oh yeah, well, that's his boy. But I'll ask you, where was Powerhouse Hobbs out on the show this week? Was he on?
Not on it.
Okay. Was Ricky Starks on the show?
Yes. He followed Moxley and Punk.
Okay. So yeah, Ricky Starks out there. He's probably getting a really good babyface reaction now.
Yeah, he is.
But
he actually is.
The problem is that where's his fucking opponent? His feud. Where is Powerhouse? On Elevation? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Where's Jay? Where's Jay though?
Not on the show.
Where's Andrade?
Not on the show.
Where's Abaddon?
Not on the show. Needs to be on the show.
Exactly.
So
I guess.
Yeah, man.
And I guess they brought Jim Ross back to commentary full time because that shit wasn't working.
Yep. Started off the shows, kept going. But you can even hear it in Jim though. Jim was he'll give you good commentary, but Jim was less than thrilled.
Oh, because Jim knows it. Jim Ross is the only one out there that's gonna call that shit like it is. And Tony doesn't take direction from nobody. How you Road Dogg was sniffing around for a job, and how you let this dude go back to WWE? I don't know. Unless you're about to pick up Jeff Jarrett or something. I don't know. And Jeff Jarrett more than likely will probably end up at AEW. You watch. Jarrett got a taste of that WWE shit. It ain't for him.
Hey, they need Jarrett at AEW. Based off what he did with the Ric Flair card, he needs to be in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to go and tell Tony, listen, your ideas suck. No one wants to go and tell him the truth. Your ideas are garbage. It's terrible.
Not all of them. Not all of them, because he gives us some good shit from time to time. He tries.
He gives you long ass matches. That don't mean shit. What's the substance for the match? Why am I supposed to care about this match?
That's what I want.
So let me get this right. You have Arn Anderson backstage. You have Dustin Rhodes backstage. You have Dean Malenko backstage. You got Jake Roberts backstage. All these dudes backstage that have been in companies that have made millions of dollars, some of the top angles in the history of the business, and you don't go to them for any type of nothing. They're not on your creative team. They don't do shit. Really? That's just mind-boggling to me. That's just mind-boggling. I mean, that just really makes me just seriously just make like what's really going on here? You got all this talent back here that they've done it all. And you don't take advice from these people. They're just back there collecting a paycheck. Nope. You don't say nothing to them. You're not utilizing Arn Anderson. My guy, you have all these useless factions running around there. Get rid of the fucking Dork Order. Get their asses out of here. This shit is done. It's played out now. It's over with. Okay. You got Arn Anderson there. Guess what Arn Anderson owns? The trademarks of the Four Horsemen. Why are we not booking a new version of the fucking Four Horsemen? And oh my goodness, can we make a Four Horsemen group that possibly has an Andrade in it? Can we have a Four Horsemen group that has maybe
it's legacy? It's legacy.
I don't understand that.
Ric Flair on both guys.
We can do these things. We own the trademark. Have Anderson out there as spokesperson. Hey, you can even bring Ric Flair out there now. Nobody cares about that shit anymore. They've moved on to Vince.
Yep.
And why are the Briscoes not on AEW television? What's up with that? I mean, how many times must one apologize for things they've done in the past or said? Why is Brian Cage not being put on the show? Why is Wardlow not being the monster he was?
A monster.
Well, how
This
much momentum has he lost? He's lost so much.
A fumble.
People can talk shit. People can talk shit all they want to about WWE and how they handle Goldberg. Wardlow is the biggest flop. It's not even his fault. It's the biggest flop I've seen. His heat was gone after he beat MJF. That shit was over. That was dumb. I was like, you know what? Wardlow is. I said Wardlow is going to be the next Batista. He's the next Batista. I just said change that dude's music, give him some fucking pyrotechnics. He's going to be the monster.
He's a monster.
You cooled him off because we have got to feature a bunch of bullshit that we don't fucking need. That's the show. It's like I can imagine going to an AEW production meeting, and they're saying, "Okay, what's the show tonight here?" Well, we're gonna put Evil Uno versus who else we got here?
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
That's what we're gonna do.
Get out of the meeting.
Get
out of the meeting.
Well, I was telling you my ideas. There's no reason to get
security.
Upset about it.
Security.
No, we don't need security. Need security. I have a great idea. Oh, well, can't do that anymore because you had something there with Luchasaurus as a monster heel as a bodyguard for Christian, but you fucked that up too.
Here's an idea. Let's build up heel Luchasaurus and have him collide with fucking Wardlow. The shit wrote itself. It wrote itself.
Right. Or how about we build up heel powerhouse. Build him up. And let him take on Wardlow.
That's another flop.
Another flop because what? They gave the guy a new entrance, a new song, and he ain't even on the damn show. But I get to see Daniel Garcia again. Yay!
Bro, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Save that shit
I have been offering my services to All Elite Wrestling for a while now, and they just don't seem to understand. They don't get it. So what's going to end up happening is that Wednesdays, right? The WWE is going to come calling for me. I'm going to go ahead and go.
Go.
I'm going to go to WWE.
Go.
Yep.
Go help the machine.
That's right. You listen.
Be a spoke on the wheel.
I'll be happy to be in that machine. And my main job will be is I'll work creative, but I will also work on the WWE network. That's my thing. I'll go in there and get those old TV shows. You guys want superstars of wrestling? Damn it, I'm going to give you a superstars wrestling. You want Saturday night? You want WWE Saturday night? Well, baby, I'm going to go in there and get it all the day long.
Oh, shit. That's awesome. All right, man. Last topic of the night. Best wrestling video game ever.
Oh, there's lots. There's lots of games. There's lots of games. Me personally, so like the very first wrestling game I ever played, and this is actually a very interesting story. So I was like 14, 15 years old, something like that. So I was messing with this chick, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to go to her house and hang out with her all the time. And she had a PlayStation 1. And she had the motherfucker. And I used to go to her house and I used to play WCW Nitro, right? That's the game she had. She had Nitro. Yeah, she had Nitro and she had the Warzone. And I used to go over there and play it. And she's like, you can have this motherfucker. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you can have it. I'm like, bullshit. She's like, no, you can have the PlayStation. I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, you can have it. Okay, yeah, take the game so you can have it. Because I don't play shit. I'm like, cool, I took it. So I I did. And I was like, myself, like,
Romance.
man, your daddy gonna be calling with this motherfucker. So I was waiting for it, but it never happened. So Nitro was cool, very repetitive,
Very
cool.
repetitive.
The Warzone has some funny ass promos on there.
Yes, it did.
Ahmed Johnson, for instance, he stands out. If anybody out there's listening, just go on YouTube and look for Warzone promos on there.
First of all,
yeah, birds will fall, shit like that. So that was for good games. But honestly, WCW NWO Revenge for N64 was a good game, followed by, I would say, WrestleMania 2000 was a good game as well. But for me, the Monster game, that was like the best game of all time. Fucking No Mercy, dude. N64.
Okay. I'm going to give you a throwback.
All right.
I'm going to give you a throwback. It's one of my favorite, not wrestling games, but video games ever, because it was the first wrestling game I played. There was a game on Nintendo called Pro Wrestling. That's it. It was just called Pro Wrestling. And the character that everybody played with was a character named Starman. And Starman was the shit. Starman was the shit. And like 8-bit video graphics, this motherfucker was doing Hurricane Ranas, and it was amazing to me. That's one of my favorites. But to me, the best wrestling video game was probably WWE 2K14. Either that or No Mercy. No Mercy holds a place in my heart. But I did love Warzone too. The finishing moves were hard as fuck to do, but if you nailed the finishing move in Warzone, it was a finishing move. You was getting the 3 count.
2K13, I think it was a good game as well. That whole storyline was built around the Attitude Era, which they did a great job with that. They reenacted like everything on there. The Montreal Screwjob was on there. They did a lot of cool stuff. So that was a cool game. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain.
Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then SmackDown, I think it was, what was it? SmackDown, was it Just Bring It or Know Your Role or something like that?
Just Bring It.
Whichever one featured the NWO. I'm not sure it was just in 2002. Okay, Just Bring It. Yeah. If that's the one. That one, that was a cool one. The graphics on there were unbelievable for the time. I had a lot of fun playing that game. I used to play that game over and over and over again. Day of Reckoning 2 was a good game. That was on the GameCube.
I would agree with you. That
was a good game. Raw 2 on the Xbox was good.
I did not like that game. I did not.
You like Raw 2?
No,
Raw 2
I fucking hate
it. Raw 2 was an upgrade from Raw 1. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I just thought it played like Raw 1, and I hated Raw 1 because of how it played. I hated it.
WrestleMania, WrestleMania 19 was a good one. WrestleMania 21 was a good game.
Yeah.
Fucking, what was it?
The original SmackDown. Showdown was good. The original SmackDown.
Showdown versus Wrestling.
Yeah. The original SmackDown, I thought it was good because at that time, like, we hadn't seen entrances the way SmackDown did it. And, like, you could create...
SmackDown.
The graphics were terrible. But I just thought the entrances...
it was just a fucking... all it was a screen.
Yeah, that's it. And he come out, but I was like, that shit is hard. Back then, that shit was hard.
That shit is... No, because WCW they were giving you full entrances on the 64 games, the N64 games. You were on WrestleMania 2000, you got full entrances. You got Undertaker come out there with the Main Street music and doing the shit with the lights. So I was like, this is lame. It's like the new AEW game that's coming out. Like, some people were like, oh man, they got short entrances on there, but then it was later confirmed that they have full entrances on.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for that
dragging
game.
out. They're like, oh, I am too. I need something else to play besides 2K22 because they're not updating 2K22 anymore.
Yeah, and the new AEW game looks like it plays like No Mercy. Like I get a No Mercy feel looking at it. So I'm actually pretty excited about it.
And one of the matches, I don't know if you know it or not, but one of the match types that's going to be in that game is the exploding. What was that? Exploding ring or what the fuck it was? They did
the exploding barbed wire.
Yeah, death match. Whatever match they're going to have that in the game. Yeah.
Huh.
Now, what would have been cool? But it's their first tryout. But what would have been cool, and they would actually beat WWE on this because WWE's never done it. Is that they would have had war games in the game. Now, if they would have done that, that would have been like, you would have been on something. But they're not going to have that, unfortunately.
I just think the creative juice or not even the creative juice, like the power that it takes to actually maintain the graphics on two rings and shit going on around it. I think that may be a little too much.
We're in the PS5 era now.
True, but there's still a lot of power you have to use.
Hey, I'm supposed PS5 is supposed to be one of the top systems in the world, right? So we should be able to do it at this point.
I agree there, but nevertheless, I'm excited about it. I want to see what they put out.
I'm happy to hear you're excited about it.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. All right, man. Final thoughts. What you got?
Halloween Ends will be available on Peacock and in the theaters on October 14th. And I'm looking forward to that.
We should do a watch party.
And also, we'll see about that. Also, by the way, people don't know this or not, but they're actually doing a sequel to A Christmas Story with the cast from A Christmas Story. And that's been greenlit by HBO Max. So that's going to be something that you're going to be doing.
It's gonna suck.
And I'm looking forward to it, actually.
It's gonna suck. I'm just gonna let me give you my theory.
Go ahead.
Let me give you my theory. Any movie that doesn't go to theaters and goes directly to HBO Max sucks. There's a proven track record.
I don't agree with that.
There's a proven track record. The track record is a mile long. The Matrix sucked. Well, Wonder Woman 84 sucked. What else they put out on there?
That went to theater. Didn't that go to theaters?
No, it went to HBO Max too.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when HBO Max came out, that wasn't even when that movie came out, HBO Max didn't even exist.
No, it existed. Trust me, it existed. And it came out on HBO Max on Christmas Day, the same day that it came out in theaters. It was the worst Christmas movie of my life.
Okay. Well, I'll put it like this. The reason why I don't really think that that's a valid statement is because let's just say that they put out, Andor on Disney Plus, which they're going to do, and Andor is getting like a rave reviews from people already. Just like if Kenobi, which was supposed to be a movie, would have been presented in the movie theater, it would have made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it would have.
So just because of the streaming service, which is the way it's going right now, they're giving the option of
no. I'm not talking about streaming services. I'm talking exclusively HBO Max. If a movie goes to HBO Max, that bitch is gonna suck. I'm not lying.
I just think it's something. I think it's something for you. Got to have something for your service to get people to be interested in your service, and having exclusives like that is what it is. It's no different than when WWE Network launched. Their pay-per-views were solely on their streaming service at one point. That's what it was. So, but in that case, a lot of WWE shows were on the network and they sucked ass. So have something to that, but I watch episodes of Nitro exclusively on Peacock, and a lot of are not that bad. So, bottom line is that you're not going to ruin my fucking happiness. I'm happy that they're bringing the movie, and that's the end of.
I'm not trying to disappoint you.
If the movie sucks, then the movie sucks. But I'm happy to see that they're bringing back the original Ralphie, his original brother for the movie. They're bringing back, everybody.
I'm not trying to kill your happiness. This is the No Gimmicks podcast where we keep it 100% real 100% of the time. This is one of those times where I'm telling you, you may be disappointed because that shit may suck.
I'm not going to be disappointed in anything, sir.
Okay.
If it sucks, I will come up here and say, that Christmas story really sucked ass. I'll come up here and say it.
All right.
But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that they tell the story is true to the story. No problem with that.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy it.
But nonetheless, it'll be fantastic whenever it comes out. It's coming out in November.
All right. Cool.
So it'll be fantastic. Other than that, I got nothing else. Nothing else to say. It's been cool coming up back here and doing the No Gimmicks podcast like on DFPN and people out there. Hey, make sure that you're, going on that Patreon and subscribing to the Patreon and checking out the different content that we have up there. We got a lot of crazy ideas, but we need to get the numbers up so we can do those crazy ideas.
Yes.
So, we provide here. We provide, I'd say, a pretty good, show for free. Imagine what you pay for. Imagine how rowdy that would be.
Pay us money. You may get a great show.
Yes.
But yeah.
Paying us or not, you're still getting a great show. But
still getting a great show.
If you wanna,
turn the volume up when you pay us.
You want to turn the dial up a little bit and see what it is and really get on some stuff. Then go to that Patreon up there for as little as $3. Okay. $3, you can get some exclusives up here. Because I got a lot of shit to say, and guess what? It ain't gonna be on here.
Pay me.
It ain't gonna be nowhere. It ain't gonna be nowhere in public.
But yeah, man. Other than that, we have the Normalized Growth podcast coming tomorrow. For those listening, just stay locked in, and you'll get the Normalized Growth right after this episode. So stay locked in.
Hey man, you see my Vader? See my Darth Vader? I
see it. We still got to do a Patreon episode on Star Wars.
Oh, got my Reva too.
We still got to do a Patreon episode on Star Wars.
We sure do.
Keep that in mind.
Snap. Got my Obi-Wan too.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the No Gimmicks podcast this week. Come back next week. Until then, y'all be safe. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. Hey. Don't touch that dial. Coming up next, we got a brand new episode of the Normalized Growth podcast right here on the DFPN. I said don't touch that dial. I see you getting ready to do it. Just relax, leave it alone, because we got a great episode coming up for you.
I'm not so much interested in trying to say what it's going to be. I don't know. But